Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MA English Cafe, your weekly dose of English learning served fresh and hot. I'm Ben.
And I'm Jenny. It's great to be back with all of you on the MA English channel. Today we're talking about a topic that's close to everyone's heart and roof. We're diving into the world of English at home.
That's right. From the different types of places we live to the things we do inside them, we're covering it all. So, Jenny, let's start with the big question. When you think of a home, what kind of building comes to mind first?
Ooh, that's a good one. For me, I immediately picture a classic house. You know, a standalone building with a little garden, maybe a white picket fence. It's called a detached house if it's not connected to any other houses. If it shares one wall with a neighbor, it's a semi-detached house.
I see. Very traditional. I think many people in cities, like me, would immediately think of an apartment, or a flat, as they say more commonly in British English. It's a single unit within a larger building. You have neighbors above, below, and on the sides.
Exactly, and there are so many variations. You have a small studio apartment where the living room, bedroom, and kitchen are all in one open space. Then you have larger apartments with multiple bedrooms. And if you're really lucky, you might live in a penthouse, the luxury apartment at the very top of the building.
A penthouse sounds nice, but let's not forget about other types of dwellings. What about a villa? That word sounds so luxurious.
It usually is. A villa is typically a large, luxurious house, often in the countryside or by the sea, sometimes used for holidays. It implies space, gardens, and maybe even a private pool. It's a step up from a standard house.
Okay, so we have houses, apartments, and villas. What about something more rustic or quaint?
You're probably thinking of a cottage. A cottage is a small, charming house typically found in a rural area or a village. They often have a very cozy, traditional feel, maybe with a fireplace and stone walls. They are the definition of quaint.
I love that word, cozy. It perfectly describes the feeling of being warm, comfortable, and safe at home. So we've got the huge mansion, the luxurious villa, the standard house, the charming cottage, and the practical apartment. That's a great range of vocabulary for our listeners to describe where they live.
It really is. And you know, no matter what type of home you live in, the most important thing is that it feels like your space. By the way, if you're enjoying learning these new words and want to make our channel your home for English learning, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our future episodes.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked about the outside, Jenny. I think it's time we opened the front door and took a look inside. What do you say?
I say let's do it. The journey into the home begins.
All right, we're inside. So, Jenny, what's the first room we typically enter in a house? The main area for relaxing and welcoming guests.
That would be the living room, or as some people call it, the lounge or sitting room. This is the heart of socializing in a home. It's where you find the sofa or couch, both words are common, and maybe a couple of armchairs.
And in the middle, you'll usually find a coffee table for your drinks and books. Many living rooms also have a bookshelf for storage and display. And if you're lucky, a fireplace to keep things cozy in the winter. It's the room for entertainment where you'd have your television.
Speaking of entertainment, let's move to another central part of any home, the kitchen. For me, this is where the magic happens. The kitchen is where you prepare and cook food.
Of course, the essential appliances in a kitchen are the refrigerator, or fridge for short, to keep food cold, and the stove or cooker, which usually includes burners on top and an oven below for baking. You also have the sink for washing dishes, cabinets for storing pots and pans, and the countertop or work surface for preparing ingredients.
You know your way around a kitchen, Ben. I'm impressed. From the kitchen, we often move to the dining room, although many modern homes have an open plan design where the kitchen, dining area, and living room are all one big space. The dining room is simple. Its main purpose is for eating meals, so it features a dining table and chairs.
Simple but important. Okay, let's head upstairs. We can't forget the most personal space in the house.
The bedroom. This is your sanctuary, your place for rest and sleep. The main piece of furniture is, of course, the bed. You'll also find a wardrobe or a closet for your clothes, a dresser or chest of drawers for folded items, and a nightstand or bedside table next to the bed for a lamp and your phone.
A very important room. And finally, a room dedicated to hygiene, the bathroom.
Yes. In the bathroom, you'll find a toilet, a sink or wash basin, and either a shower, a bathtub, or a combination of both. And of course, a mirror is essential for getting ready in the morning.
Wow, we've just done a full tour of a typical home, from the living room to the bathroom. That's a lot of useful vocabulary. You know, building your English vocabulary is like building a house brick by brick. And if you want to keep building with us, we'd really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to the MA English channel. It helps us a lot.
It really does. Now that we know the layout of the house, how about we talk about what we actually do in it, the daily activities and chores?
Great idea. Let's talk about bringing the house to life.
So, Ben, we've furnished our virtual house. Now let's talk about living in it. Beyond sleeping and eating, what are some common household activities?
Well, the most common one is probably just relaxing or chilling out. This could mean watching TV, listening to music, or reading a book on the sofa. It's about unwinding after a long day. I also love having a cup of tea or coffee while I catch up on the news.
Those are the relaxing activities, but a home also requires work to keep it nice and clean. This is where household chores come in. I think everyone has a chore they dislike the most.
Oh, for sure. For me, it's doing the dishes. I just find it so tedious. Other common chores include doing the laundry, washing and drying clothes, vacuuming the floor to clean the carpets, dusting the furniture, and the one everyone dreads, taking out the trash.
I don't mind doing the laundry, but I agree, taking out the trash is the worst. We also have phrases like tidying up or cleaning up, which is the general act of making a room look neat. You might tell a child, "Please tidy up your room."
Exactly. These activities and chores are what make a house a home. It's the life that happens inside it. This brings us to some famous English idioms about home. You know, like home is where the heart is, which means your home is wherever the people you love are.
That's a beautiful one. There's also the classic home sweet home, which is something you say when you return home after being away. And when you have guests, you tell them to make themselves at home, which means you want them to relax and be comfortable.
These are fantastic phrases to sound more like a native speaker. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick review of the most important vocabulary and grammar we used.
Excellent idea. Time for our vocabulary and grammar recap.
All right, everyone, let's break it down. Key vocabulary recap. Types of dwellings: house, detached or semi-detached, apartment or flat, studio, penthouse, villa, cottage, mansion. Remember, these words describe the building itself. Key rooms: living room or lounge, kitchen, dining room, bedroom, bathroom. Essential furniture: sofa or couch, coffee table, bed, wardrobe or closet, dining table. Household chores: phrasal verbs: tidy up, clean up, take out the trash, wash up the dishes, phrasal verbs are extremely common in daily English. Idioms, home is where the heart is, home sweet home, make yourself at home.
And for our grammar focus today, let's quickly touch on prepositions of place. We use them constantly when talking about a home. In is used for being inside an enclosed space. For example, the food is in the fridge. I am in my bedroom. On is used for being on a surface. For example, the book is on the coffee table. The lamp is on the nightstand. At is used for a specific point or location. For example, someone is at the front door. Let's sit at the dining table.
Perfect summary, Jenny. Mastering those prepositions will make your descriptions of your home much more accurate.
And that's all the time we have for today here at the MA English Cafe. We hope you enjoyed this tour of English at home.
We certainly had fun. Don't forget to practice using these new words and phrases. Until next time, take care and keep learning.